You guys know what's going on with Joe Biden? I mean, it looks like he can't even take a simple tour of a manufacturing facility without nonstop directions telling him left and right what to do. Throughout this entire event. Now, I don't know if you guys have seen that. We're going to talk about the $1,800 in Social Security payments on the 27th of September, which looks like depends upon what part of the country you're on. You may have already received this payment, but I'm going to discuss that with you guys. This is for Social Security and Costco. Costco is experiencing a rush on these 1 ounce gold bars. A lot of people are pulling their money out of the banks. They're looking for a different way to store their cash, to protect their cash, to protect their net worth, and they're looking at gold as one of these options. So Costco is now experiencing a rush on the 1 ounce gold bars, selling for a bargain price of $1,949 each, and they're disappearing from the shelves. So if you see these gold bars in Costco, drop me some comments down below because they're pretty hard to find at this point. So yeah, so something's going on with President Joe Biden. Uh, I know he's showing signs of age. I don't think anybody's going to argue with that. By the way, if you guys are able to hear me, go ahead and drop me a comment down below. Let me know if you can hear me because I'm actually not using the microphone that I normally would use. So I don't know if I'm talking to myself or if you guys are hearing me loud and clear. Hopefully, you guys can hear me. So the video looked and sounded problematic as it picked up Biden's feeble movements. Just seen a clip where he said the black community will suffer due to the shutdown. Are you guys serious? Are you serious, Grateful Gray? I didn't see that video. I'm gonna have to look for that one. Do me a favor. I don't know if it's easy for you to do, Grateful Gray. If you can send me that clip of where Biden said that the black community will suffer due to the shutdown, I would totally appreciate that. Um, Lewis Barnes, thanks for letting me know you can hear me. Darthead 2023, I appreciate you. Yeah, so matter of fact, hold on. I'm gonna see if I can find that clip of President Biden saying black community will suffer. Let's just see. What? Okay. All right. So we got news on Bing from Biden. We got Yahoo News, um, Reuters. All right. Take your pick. So let's just hit up this Bing article right here. Oh, it's not an article from Bing, um, from Biden, but oh, check this out. Check this out. Biden suggests Americans should stop electing House Republicans if the government is shut down. Let me see. Is this the article? Okay. Okay. We got to talk about this right now. I'm sorry. I appreciate that, Grateful Gray. We're going to have to cover this right now. So, I don't know if I want to do this one right here. All right. So President Biden on Monday bashed House Republicans for heading towards a government shutdown, saying that they shouldn't be elected if they can't do the job to fund the government. Quote, funding the government is one of the most basic fundamental responsibilities of the Congress, and if Republicans in the House don't start doing their jobs, we should stop electing them. So that's what Biden said in some remarks. Biden noted that he made a deal with Speaker Kevin McCarthy in May that led to an increase in the debt ceiling. Under the deal, lawmakers voted for legislation that set ceilings for spending for the next year. But here's where it gets interesting. Uh, Congress faces a September 30th deadline to pass legislation to fund the government and prevent a shutdown. So far, House Republicans have not agreed to a deal amongst themselves, let alone the Senate and White House. So the president's comments came during a meeting with his board of advisors on historically black colleges and universities, and he outlined what a government shutdown would mean for the black community. I wonder why he highlighted the black community. I'm not saying it was a bad thing. I'm just wondering, like, why did he choose to highlight the black community in terms of how the shutdown would impact Black people and Black communities, maybe Black colleges. Your guess is as good as mine, but I would love to hear what you guys think. Um, on why he might have said this. So, quote, the Black community in particular is going to suffer if that occurs. This is what Biden said if a shutdown occurs. So he said that under a shutdown, which would put non essential government workers on furlough, the Department of Housing and Urban Development would stop all of its enforcement work, fighting housing discrimination, and that the environmental protection agenda, I know how you guys feel about the whole environmental protection agenda and the whole green energy movement, clean energy movement. Anyway, uh, he said that basically all of that would stop. And they would have to stop the environmental justice work because inspections would also come to a halt. He also said funding for small businesses will be impacted. So, drop me some comments, guys. What do y'all think about that? Is Biden right? Was he right about that? Is the Black community going to be affected as greatly as he's warning? Let's see. Biden says Black community will suffer. Here's another one, and you guys can check it out for yourselves here. Let me scroll this up for you. Um, Here it is. You can see it for yourself. I don't know if you guys can see that on the screen here. So Biden says that the Black community will suffer if a shutdown occurs. Interesting though. Appreciate you sharing that. So anyway, so $1,800 Social Security payments on the 27th. So yesterday, a lot of people have already received these payments. Why? Well, the Social Security payments continue to be sent out. We talked about this recently. Every single month, the Social Security Administration, the SSA, issues millions of checks throughout the United States to beneficiaries of the program who are mostly retired workers. So who's eligible for these checks? Well, anybody who's worked at least 10 years and has reached the minimum requirement age, which is currently 62 years old, is eligible to receive monthly payments as long as they paid all Social Security taxes during their working life. So let's see, what other Social Security programs are there? So it looks like there's the SSA offers disability benefits and also pays survivor benefits to widows, widowers, and dependents of eligible workers. The agency also has a supplemental security income SSI scheme for people with little or no income who are over 65 or have a disability. Nice. So, what are the September Social Security payment dates? So, according to the SSA, Wednesday, the 27th of September, we'll see the fourth of a total of 5 Social Security payment runs scheduled for this month, with one more check going out on Friday. But the checks have gone out on the Friday the 1st, Wednesday the 13th, Wednesday the 20th, Wednesday the 27th, and Friday the 29th of September will be the last check for Social Security for this month. Now, because of the large number of payments, the SSA has to process each month checks for retirement, for disability, and also for survivor benefits. They're sent out in batches determined by the recipient's date of birth. So that's why that's happening. Now, the state of California, the state with the biggest increase in homelessness is shockingly not California, nor is it New York. Now, I wonder if you guys can guess what the top states are for homelessness. So basically, you would be surprised, to be honest with you guys. You would be surprised. If I were to say the top states for homelessness, I would have easily pinpointed California, because we're always talking about California. I've been to LA several years back, and LA had a ridiculous homelessness problem. San Francisco, I mean, between all the rowdiness that's going on in the retail stores, but San Francisco's homelessness problem is just it just seems like unreal. Like I hope it's being exaggerated, with all social media and all the different coverages that we're seeing. But San Francisco's homelessness problem just seems just berserk. I would, I would, if I didn't say it, if it wasn't California as the number one state with the worst homeless population, I would definitely have considered, or I would have guessed that it would have been New York. So, yeah, it's pretty bad. So let's see here. C-19 pandemic took an immense toll on the lives of most Americans. Still, for those already experiencing homelessness or housing and economic insecurity, the challenges presented by the health crisis only made things worse. And I think a lot of people can actually attest to that because um, there have been so many stats that have come out indicating um, that with the child tax credits and all of those different benefits that had come out post pandemic, a lot of people had actually become better off. In fact, they were there were several statistics indicating how many people have actually come out of poverty. And since they stopped these programs, since they stopped these child tax credits, which were basically coming out, I think they were sending out payments every single month to parents with children, and once they stopped that, they reversed and kind of like lost all that traction that they were making in terms of families coming out of poverty. So that's pretty bad. But yeah, so a lot of people were asking me on previous videos, how do I increase my income? And so I figured I would definitely share with you guys some tips on, or kind of open up a discussion in terms of what are the best five dividend paying stocks in the S&P 500, or should you be buying them? So basically, the S&P 500 is really not a bad place to look for top dividend stocks to buy. Some stocks in the index offer some juicy yields right now, even better than what the banks are offering in many cases. So the question is, should you buy the five highest paying stocks in the S&P 500? So the five stocks in the highest dividend yields for the S&P 500 right now are Devon Energy. This is ticker symbol DVN. They've got a dividend yield of 10.5%. We're going to get 10.5%. We're not seeing 10.5% in the savings bank accounts, are we? We're not seeing it there. Altria Group, 9.3%. Walgreens Boots Alliance, they're paying 9% dividends. Verizon Communications, they're paying 8%. And Key Corp is paying 7.7%. So these stocks, they're representing multiple sectors and multiple different industries. Devon Energy is an oil and gas producer. Altria Group is a giant tobacco company, and of course, Walgreens Boots Alliance operates several major pharmacy chains. So these companies, they're making some regular income, and they can pretty much pay dividends until the end of time because basically their businesses are they're they're not very cyclical. The demand remains very strong. So they can more than likely continue to pay these outrageous dividends for years and years on end. So, are these good investments? Is this a good way to generate some passive income? I'd love to hear from you guys. So, uh, Brenda, Brenda Bartenstein, I appreciate you. Some people just want to focus on things that don't matter, right? And a lot of people who have been long term viewers of mine, they understand that I had surgery months back and my mouth is still swollen. So, anyway, this is why JX is having financial difficulties because he's worried about the wrong things. But thanks for you guys for having my back and explaining to that person who's clearly a little bit slow. Uh, Big Drew Daly says, "Don't worry, guys. Ukraine will still receive their funds regardless of any kind of upcoming shutdown." And you're right, Drew. I think that the Ukraine and President Zelensky over in the Ukraine has a special place in President Biden's heart. I think Biden is definitely, no matter what, is going to make sure that the Ukraine will continue to receive whatever funds that they need to do whatever they're doing with our money, right? Forget stimulus checks, forget raising social security payments, forget raising SSI payments and asset caps. Let's just go ahead and make sure we have plenty of money set aside to send over to the Ukraine instead. Strong sarcasm, but that's basically what we're seeing. I mean, are we not? So, Fat Boy Kicks says, "Yo, Ron, salute, homie. What is going on, Fat Boy Kicks?" I just want to go through these comments because I don't like to ignore anybody. Oh man, Lady A.R. Brown says straight up gangsters that Zelensky is, right? And he's living in Miami in his mansion in the bunker. What? So, are you serious about this? Like, is Zelensky really living in Miami now? Somebody else is saying Las Vegas. I think you guys are kidding, but sometimes you guys share information with me that I haven't even discovered yet. So hopefully you guys could clarify that for me in the future comments. But Michael Allen says, welcome to the broke class." I certainly hope not. I certainly hope not. But yeah, I mean that's pretty much the situation that we're in right now. So President Biden. So the recent video that I was talking about with President Biden, the video looked and sounded problematic as it's picked up President Biden's feeble movement, and a hot mic showed evidence of his continuous need for directions from his handlers. So the footage was showing basically President Biden looking all sorts of confused. And basically, this was posted on Twitter. I don't know if you guys, and hey, if you guys are not following me on Twitter, make sure you guys follow me on Twitter. You should see a link in the description down below this video, um, where basically it was posted on Twitter and it racked up like 3.2 million views in the first 24 hours. And here's some of the quotes from his coaches that guided President Biden along here. They're basically saying down here. Like the guy was like walking off the stage and there was a lot more to be said. It's like, dude, where are you going? The event is still over here. The poor guy, I mean, how old is he now? Jesus. And then the other thing is he really going to run for president? Um, or is this just a hoax? Are they just kind of like amping us up, getting us ready, and then he's really not even going to run? Like, I just can't even see someone like him being able to debate. I don't see how it's even possible. J2A says President Biden's clearly a puppet. How in the hell is he still in power? I don't know either. I don't know either. Um, yeah. So, Big Drew Daily, no problem, man. I do my best to address all the comments as best as I can. But yeah, President Biden, I just don't see how he's going to be able to pull it off. I mean, he's barely holding on now. Um, at least he's not as bad as what is his face? Jesus, Mitch McConnell. I mean, Mitch McConnell had his second mental reboot. It was like his Windows. If he was a computer, it was like his Windows operating system froze and it was like blue screen. So at least President Biden's not quite as bad as Mitch McConnell. Can you imagine if President Biden was like doing the State of the Union address and he just like froze, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm messing with you, but just imagine, right? Like, you thought something was wrong with me. So imagine if President Biden, like, just kind of froze like that. That'd just be wild. But thankfully, the commander in chief is not quite as bad as Mitch McConnell and his freezing moments. Yeah. J2A says control alt delete. Seriously, man. Yeah, so let's see. Pretty much Biden needed to be told where to go. He required the guy to tell him that there were people present. Evidently, he didn't know that there were people around. How was he so disconnected? He needed a marker to tell him where to stand, and he desired help to get started when it came to visiting workers. This was not a complicated fight scene in a Hollywood action movie that needs special choreography and multiple takes. Unbelievable. So they're clearly throwing shade at President Biden. Now they're clowning him. He's like the butt of so many jokes, and it's just, how do you have a leader? how do you have a leader of the United States representing the country, representing USA like that, right? Like, does that really make you look strong as a nation? James Broderick, good morning from Boca Raton, Florida. Good morning to you, sir. Good morning to you, sir. Where's everybody from? Drop me some comments down below. Let me know where you guys are watching the show from. And even more curious, how do you guys listen to me? Do you normally listen to me while you're at work? Do you listen to me in the car? Are you listening to me on your phone? Do you wear headphones? I'm just a little bit curious on that. So anyway, he's done it before. Uh, it was like the time that Joe Biden only had to walk a straight line on a red carpet to examine Polish troops at a review ceremony in Poland in February. President Biden had to be guided as he confusedly tottered off while checking out the soldiers. It's funny how easily President Biden gets distracted, right? So I don't know. Does he suffer from dementia? Is it ADD? Um, Not really sure which one it is. Maybe it's a combination of the two. So anyway, so he walked away from the red carpet and had to be straightened out by a handler. Kind of like, hey, come on, Mr. President. Kind of have to guide him by hand, by arm. Kind of like a date. Anyway, then of course there was a time when a young girl had to take the president by hand and guide him off the stage after a speech. And I remember that one. It was kind of like he was like walking the wrong direction, and they're like, "No." They almost like ran after him. They almost ran after the poor guy to get him and get him off, basically ushering the man off the stage. So, yeah. So, in President Biden's defense, these instructions help his Secret Service detail know exactly where the president's going to be at all times. Good thing, good thing that allows for better security and protection. Unbelievable. So, you know, we got some big issues coming up. Inflation's hitting has hit all-time highs. Allegedly, it's coming down. We're not seeing the inflation improvements in consumer goods like food at the grocery stores. We're not seeing gas prices racing down. We're not seeing an abundance of high-paying jobs. I mean, if you guys are seeing an abundance, if you guys are seeing like lots of new high-paying jobs, let me know what you guys are seeing. But there's some serious issues that need to be addressed that really aren't being addressed right now. And so, whoever's going to be president, whoever's going to be, campaigning for presidency, they have a lot to do. So the real question is, you know, Biden's had what, 3 years, about three and change, right? So, like, I think he's proven what he's capable of doing. I'm not convinced that he is going to be able to, kind of turn things around. But if you guys disagree with me, definitely let me know in the comment section down below. I mean, I'm not a Democrat. I'm not a Republican. I'm pretty independent. Um, I would say that, whoever can do the job, put him in. Whoever is capable of getting the job done, put him in office. But I think that we've seen enough of what the current president's capable of doing. Should you give him another chance? Do you let him run for another 4 years? Do you get somebody else in the office? Should Trump be put back in the office? Um, should you get Governor Gavin Newsom from the state of California, who claims he's not going to be running for presidential office? I mean, like, who is it? Indiana's in the house. Aaron, I see you there. Um, Barefoot Tink from Arizona. Alan Love, business loves cheap labor. No politician cares about the plight for the poor. And the funny, the really messed up part about politics is that at the end of the day, most of these politicians, they just want to get in office so that they can excel financially from a personal perspective. Um, how many of these politicians actually reach out to you to the extent that they do when they're not running for office? Like once they've landed the position, are they really reaching out to you, asking how you're doing? checking on, you know, issues that affect me and you. It's kind of like it's almost a little bit selfish, just because it's just clear that we're being leveraged just to get in office. Once they're in office, they're like, ah, all right, we're good, we're done with you guys. Looks like we got 116 people in here right now. Go ahead and drop some likes for the video, guys. Show some love in the comments and on the like buttons. But yeah, man, um, George Santos. I feel you, Blue Moon. George Santos. I mean, you can't. I don't know if I've ever seen a political figure lie and get caught as much as George Santos has. Um, Unbelievable. It is unbelievable. And on top of that, he admitted to lying. I mean, you would think that if you lied, got caught, and admitted, that they would remove you from office. Now, of course, they can impeach the presidents, right? But they can also impeach other political figures. Like, I'm just trying to understand, like, you straight up cheated to get into office, and yet you managed to kind of, you know, retain your position. I don't even understand how that works. I really don't understand how that works. So anyway, guys, it is getting late. I appreciate hanging out with you guys. It has been fun. I hope you guys enjoyed today's live, and I'm gonna catch up with you guys on the next one. Y'all be safe.